Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
Hello and welcome. I'm Deanette Cavanda, and joining me today for a very special interview is Dr. Bill Ormston. He's a veterinarian certified in animal chiropractic and the author of Yes, It's Really a Thing, an informative guide to animal chiropractic. If you were to pick one thing that animal owners need to know about animal chiropractic, what would that one thing be?
It's safe. It's one of the safest modalities that anybody can use. We've all heard about how dangerous it is. The media likes to tell us, But for every one person the media tells us about, there's another 4 million people that got adjusted that day. The other thing is that your certified animal chiropractor knows what is chiropractic and what is not. So if your animal's having an episode that's not chiropractic, they're going to refer you to the veterinarian. However, if you go to the veterinarian, they won't always refer you to the chiropractor. They're going to reach for pharmacology and stuff like that with serious side effects first. So chiropractic is safe and effective in treating any animal with a spine.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this. To learn more about Dr. O, his books, and all of his projects, please visit his website at yeschiro.com. Thank you so much.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book, Yes, It's Really a Thing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to barfworld.com. If you're seeing this video, it typically means you're interested in trying our 90-day challenge. If your pet is suffering from allergies, kidney issues, obesity, diabetes, or even cancer, our food can help with that. So if you're ready to see your pet's health dramatically improve in just 90 days, call us and schedule your consultation today. Hope to talk to you guys soon.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Stan Smith. I'm the CEO of X-Dog and the inventor of the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest. What is the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest? In a nutshell, it is the world's greatest harness for dogs. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're looking to build muscle, combat obesity, address anxiety issues, high energy, you want to suppress that energy level. If you just want to take the average walk and turning into a health improving workout, we made it so convenient to exercise your dog that you literally only need about 30 seconds a day. It doesn't matter if you're doing basic obedience training or compete at high level dog sports or in protection sports. The X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest can enhance it and take any type of daily lifestyle to the next level. If you want to be part of our mission of eliminating canine obesity or just being a part of our team, make sure you go to teamxdog.com. As always, man, I want to thank you for your time and your support, and Team X-Dog strong.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. For me, my hero is Frank, my best friend. But even the greatest heroes need help sometimes. Frank and I were at the park the other day when he started limping and favoring his left leg. I didn't see what happened, but I could tell something was wrong. So we went to see Frank's favorite vet, Yvette. Yvette the vet. After running some tests, she determined that Frank had torn his ACL. His best option was surgery. But unfortunately for me, surgery wasn't an option. So what could I possibly do to be a hero to my hurting hero? That was when Yvette told us about hero braces. She took a quick cast of his leg and said this mold would be used to create a biomechanically designed stifle brace, custom-made just for Frank, allowing his body's natural healing processes to take over and stabilize the knee. About 2 weeks later, she fitted the brace and gave us the green light to walk, hike, and snuggle, and do all the activities that Frank and I were used to doing. It was that simple. Hero braces are lightweight, don't stretch or tear, and are durably designed to last the life of your dog. So Frank can get back to being Frank. Like I said, heroes come in all shapes and sizes. And lucky for us, so do hero braces.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. Who is Animal Chiropractic? I'm your host, Dr. O. Thanks again for joining us and helping keep us in the top chiropractic podcast in the U.S. We appreciate your support. Make sure you check out our sponsors. Today, we have the honor of interviewing Dr. Terry Laursen. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice?
Awesome. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to get on here and chat with you. So I'm out of Nebraska. I run a human and animal chiropractic practice, Laursen Chiropractic and Performance. I have a brick and mortar building where I see human patients and dogs as well. People schedule and bring dogs in with me. And then mostly mobile for horses. I have worked on a few horses out in my parking lot here and there when time was when we needed to, but mostly mobile for horses. And actually today I had human patients in the morning, and I'm on the road right now going to a couple of my horse barns. So,
all right, cool. Well, let's just dive right in. What's the biggest win with animal chiropractic you've had?
Oh man, that's tough because it seems like anytime I go out and work on a horse, it's a big win. Most of my animal chiropractic, I would say probably 80 to 90% is working on horses and equine. I've done some show cattle here and there, but day in and day out, the biggest wins have to be the texts and the videos and all the response that I get from owners. Just the other day, I went and worked on a horse, and I've worked on this horse a couple times now over the last couple months, and just right before Christmas, she sent me a text saying that she couldn't believe how much better he was moving and just overall how much his demeanor has changed. It was an older horse, and it was kind of just a pasture horse that they kind of used around the ranch a little bit, but she was just so thrilled with the quality of life change that's basically happened for him. So day in and day out, it's just changing animals' lives and the humans and the owners' lives as well.
Well, cool. So that's exciting. Can you talk about any other cases besides that one?
Let's see. So I've had a lot of performance animals. It seems like recently in this last year, my barrel racing horses have been some of my bigger wins, shaving a half a second off of their time consistently. That's in the world of timed events, like, a tenth to a half a second can be a big check difference. So
Yeah.
a lot of my barrel horses have been, and I've seen them jump from, their 3D performing horses into the 1D timed events and consistently placing there. And it's all with consistent care. Chiropractic is not a it's a process. It's not a single treatment. It's a process. And when you have a patient and a client that buys into that and understands that consistent care is important, man, it really, really changes the game for the performance animals.
Yeah. So, one of my big wins, not wins, my funny stories is about a 4D barrel racing horse.
Yeah.
I went to a house or a family, and we did 3 generations of barrel racing horses, 14 horses, went through the barn, adjusted all 14 horses, came back a month later. We're working on horses. Everybody's like, oh my God, they're so much better. Oh, they're running so much faster. We get to Granny's horse, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, you have to wait to do Granny's horse. She wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh, okay. So
Right.
Granny comes out. She looks me square in the eye, and she goes, you are not going to touch my horse again. She says, I'm too old to go that fast.
I've had a few horses that are more for kids and for show and things like that, and when you turn that switch on them and get them moving and feeling a little bit better, they seem to find another gear. Sometimes that's a little scary for people.
Yeah, and
That's
for Granny,
hilarious.
and that the other family members really filled me in. And Granny'd been winning a check in 4D, like she was getting like $5 or $10 or
Yeah.
but she was getting a check every weekend, right?
Yep.
And now she's in the middle of the 2D, and she's not winning a check.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh,
And she didn't want to run faster, so she's just
that's fantastic.
anyway. But yeah, it is. It's amazing what happens when we adjust these animals and when they are allowed to experience life at the fullest, just like with people.
100%.
Chiropractic is huge. Yeah.
100%. No, it's been fun. I would say that a majority of my equine clients are performance animals too. And when you can really tease out the specifics and you get with an owner that understands that, and they, a roping horse that's not turning quite right, or a barrel horse or a cutting horse that's just in and out of a pattern, just not quite right. You really understand the mechanics of it, and the horse itself, and the owner understands the horse. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So
It really does.
And I do a few performance horses, but my majority of my practice is performance dogs.
Yep.
And so somebody can walk in and tell me, what's going on with their dog. And like I just had a dog in here today that had been to 2 other animal chiropractors that weren't necessarily certified. We went to a couple veterinarians, and they did some diagnostic testing and some stuff. And the diagnosis was osteoarthritis in the knees, the back knees, or the stifles of this dog. Mm-hmm. And I looked at the dog and said, well, I think he's going to be really sore right behind the right side of his neck. And she looked at me and said, no, he's fine there. And when I touched it, he screamed.
Oh,
and she goes, how did you know? And it's like, well, it's just kind of, we look at things differently as animal chiropractors,
100%. I've had some experiences too. So I'm out of Omaha, Nebraska, which is kind of right on the state line with Iowa. And state laws are a little bit different in Iowa. So I have a lot of people that haul to me and cross the state line because of that. Because, an animal chiropractor who's been trained and educated and certified through an accredited school such as ACES, and then gone through the AVCA exam, it's a night and day difference. And every single one of my clients has noticed that and said that. So it definitely makes a difference to have somebody who is certified and knows what they're doing.
You bet. Yeah. Now when did you graduated from chiropractic school and animal chiropractic school about the same time, right?
Pretty much together. So I graduated from, I went to Palmer, Palmer Chiropractic College in Davenport, Iowa. I graduated October of 2020. And I started my ACEs program when I think I was in about fourth or fifth trimester of school. So
Yeah.
I went through human and animal pretty much hand in hand. It was funny. I tell the story that I took a sacropelvic practical exam in human school midweek, and then went down and did my lumbopelvic, sacropelvic stuff down at animal school that weekend. And if you know anything about humans versus animals, it's pretty much opposite. So that was quite the I went through it, I got through it, I didn't mix anything up, but I had to continually tell myself it's a little different in a quadruped. So that was, but no, I went through and with your guys' program, it allows a lot of flexibility, which was phenomenal for me and really a game changer for me. But I think I took the 2 years to go through and really took my time with learning the material and really thoroughly enjoyed the entirety of the course. But I think I finished the animal side in like March, because I was down there for my module 3 kind of right before COVID hit. Because
Right.
I remember some of the plane and some of the airport stuff was a little bit sketchy trying to get home.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Well, good. So, part of that is, so as you went and you kind of mentioned this, but some of the chiropractors out there that are, I adjust animals because, it's a spine. I know how to adjust it. What would you
right.
tell them?
Man, it's about the only thing is that it's bone, that it makes it similar to the human. How gravity affects a quadruped versus us as a bipedal animal. And then even if you look at the anatomical variation between a horse and a cow or a sheep or a goat, you got to know what you're working on. And I've talked to, some people that talk about vets that learn chiropractic and chiropractors that learn the animal chiropractic. And the vets have a leg up because they know that anatomy really, really well. But as far as a human chiropractor learning animal chiropractic, it's a whole different ballgame. And it's a different, I wouldn't say different style of adjusting, but you have to know how to work on an animal. And you have to understand their body mechanics and their body language. They can't communicate as easy as a human can say, oh, that hurts, or oh, that feels better. You have to understand the body language and the mechanics and the cues that the animals are going to give you as well. And that takes training and education and help from the animal chiropractic community. So it's a whole different world.
Well, it is. And we appreciate that comment, because we see a lot of, like I said, but you said that the veterinarians have a leg up, but chiropractors have a leg up on the philosophy and
Yes.
and actually the thrust, because the thrust is not much different. The actual
Right.
thrust.
There's definite positives to both sides, and I love learning from my veterinarian compatriots that were going through school as well. But I would definitely say, in the grand scheme of things, coming from the chiropractic side of the world has helped me immensely. I was fortunate enough; I grew up on a ranch, grew up around horses as well, so that gave me that understanding and that baseline understanding. But being a chiropractor first, definitely, I think. The root of chiropractic and the philosophies of chiropractic, and exactly as you were saying, it's that education definitely gave me a leg up in understanding the complexities, I guess, of the adjustment and the power of the adjustment, really.
All right. So, what would you like all your clients to know about animal chiropractic? If you could tell them all one thing.
That's consistency. One of the main things that I've seen, and I think, with clients that haven't sought out, or potential clients that haven't sought out animal chiropractic yet, try it out. I think you'll see the benefits immediately, right? Sometimes, like we talked about it being a process, getting to your goals takes consistency. You'll see improvements with the animal right away, but the end goal and the big improvements and the performance improvements, that takes consistency. So I think a lot of times dysfunction isn't something that you can outright see, and it takes consistent care through the good times to maintain and elevate the performance of the animal. I think that's kind of the big thing that I would like to drive home with my clients, and most of them are really good about that, because, like I said, a lot of the performance animals, and they get it already. But consistency is a big thing, and if I can't get to you, find somebody who's certified. Don't just let anybody that says they know animal chiropractic or manipulation or XYZ touch your horse or your animal or your dog or your cat or anything. There's a lot of people, practitioners out there that haven't gone through the right things to get the education and the knowledge and the proficiency down. So find somebody who's certified, and I'll help you. If I can't get to you in time, or you can't get to me in time, call me and I'll help you find somebody. ACES, AVCA, both great places to look.
So just because I saw somebody do it once doesn't mean I are one now.
No way. There's a lot more to it. And honestly, the ones that, and in my experience, the ones that can do it, are educated and know how to do it, do make it look relatively easy, because a lot of times it's got to make this pop or move or jump. It's find it, fix it, leave it alone. Let the nervous system, let the animal fix itself after that. So I've seen cases and scenarios where owners are like, "Oh, I saw that once, that looked easy," and there's a little more to it than that.
Yeah. Well, and there's when not to adjust, and I'm not, I can't honestly say that I've ever seen an animal that didn't need an adjustment, but I have seen segments in the animal's spine that shouldn't be adjusted.
Yep.
And sometimes that's the one that's like sticking out here saying, "Hey, look, adjust me.
Yes. That's a huge part of coming from the chiropractic background too, is, the training and the education is just as much when not to as it is when to move it. And like you said, I agree. I think I think adjustments and any animal could benefit from an adjustment, but the amount of segments moved and the amount of pressure that you put into that animal definitely is variable and very different from animal to animal. So having that know-how is almost more important than knowing how to adjust in the first place.
And you're a big guy. I mean, and I'm not exactly little. So, when we adjust these horses, and you said you do some cows and stuff, man, we just give it our all, right? Every time you just as hard as you can.
I'd love to say that the size makes me a hot commodity and that nobody else can do it because they aren't as big, but there's a lot of finesse to it, and it isn't all ram jam, push as hard as you can. There's instances where it helps to have a little extra heft, but for the most part it's a lot of finesse, and it's a lot of understanding joint angles and how the spine is supposed to move, and it's not a heavy-handed thing. It really doesn't have to be.
I mean, it's just simple physics. Force equals mass times acceleration.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
And you don't, if you can get that animal to work with you, that animal's body to work with you, sometimes all you have to do is just set up.
Yep.
And
that's one thing too that I've had a lot of patients or a lot of clients talk to me about is, there's a lot of experiences, and some experiences they've had where they've had chiropractors that they try to force it. And it don't matter how big you are, if that horse don't want it to move, you ain't gonna move it. So definitely, like you said, working with the animal and taking your time to allow that horse to relax with you is part of it. And having the confidence of knowing what you're doing, being educated and trained appropriately, having that confidence going into it helps that horse relax as well. So it shouldn't have to be anything where you have to put a lot of force into it. And if it is, that's probably not the best animal chiropractic for you.
Yeah. And there's days where, the animal's having a bad day, or
Yeah.
or the owner's having a bad day, or I'm having a bad day.
For
All
sure.
three can happen. And we definitely, the adjustment on that day probably isn't as good as it should be.
For sure.
But I think Reggie Gold said, one of the old chiropractic gurus, philosophy guy, said there's no such thing as a bad adjustment.
Nope.
There's just better ones.
I would agree.
So anyway, what else? So what do you say to animal chiropractors out there? Do you have any, if they're out there and they feel like they're alone and they're having trouble struggling, what's one of the things you did that's really brought you to a new level?
And first thing I would say is I feel you. I've been there, and especially if you're just getting started or not having the quantity of animals to adjust that you hope for, you needed. There's a community. Obviously, ACEs has been a large part of my education and training in my community, and my and I wouldn't say that I have it all figured out either, but getting me to that next level where I'm consistently getting the results that I want. There's opportunities with ACEs. We do every other week we get together. It's called Doctors Rounds, and we're able to bounce cases off each other and talk with other animal chiropractors, both vets and chiropractors. Insanely beneficial. I can't even begin to express how vital that has been. It's helped me work through cases of my own, but also just to know that, hey, what you're doing is the right thing, right? There's no bad adjustment. There's better ones, but you're helping the animals, even if you don't see it right away, even if your clients don't see it right away. That's where I go back to the consistency thing. Sometimes you just got to work a little longer. But no, the ability to lead on and talk to and bounce ideas off of colleagues, like I said, it's invaluable. It's been awesome for me. So anytime you can get an opportunity, and I'll put in the show notes my personal information on here. I would love to talk to anybody that ever has any questions, or like I said, I don't know everything, but I can help where I can help. So
yeah. So you definitely have been a positive positive addition to Mastermind or Doctor's Rounds. Where we come and you don't make it every month or every week, and that's okay. You can watch the replays.
Yep.
And comment on them. And that's kind of cool. And if you come often enough and participate good, what happens? You get things in the mail, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You get freebies, and then continuing education, right? Like that's another huge part of it is to stay up on your craft, right? The 3 years I spent in chiropractic school, or the 200 plus hours that I spent with you guys, it's not enough, right? I want to deliver the best care that I can to my clients, my patients, humans, animals alike. And that takes continued education, right? And getting that continual education through Doctor's Rounds and with ACEs, it's like I said, I can't say enough good things about it. It's awesome.
All right. Any parting words of wisdom to your clients or potential clients?
I would say, because this is a chiropractic podcast, if animal chiropractic is something that's crossed your mind as a human chiropractor, do it. Jump in, do it. ACES has some great opportunities to dip your toes in the water and kind of figure things out. The joy and the amount of joy and happiness that you get from helping animals, it's indescribable, right? We all love to help people. We all got into this business to help people, and we see that day in and day out when we help our human patients. But when you can help, a paralyzed dog, or when you can help this horse that's been three-legged lame for weeks on end, the amount of satisfaction that you get from that, and pure enjoyment you get from that, and joy that you give to the owners for that, it's awesome. It's why we got into this business. It's why we got into this profession. So if you've been thinking about animal chiropractic, I would say do it. Talk to me, talk to Dr. O, reach out to ACES. It has completely changed the game for me. It allowed me to start my own practice right out of school. That's another thing that we haven't even touched on. Obviously, right, we got to feed our families, but the financial benefit of animal chiropractic in conjunction with the human side, it's awesome. It's a no-brainer.
So, I mean, it wasn't cheap to come to ACES.
No.
But you paid for it?
Yeah. No, and most of the time, good things aren't cheap. Cheap things aren't good. So you're going to get what you pay for, and the education and what you get out of the ACES program, second to none. Right? Obviously, I'm biased. I went there, but I know other colleagues and other animal chiropractors that I went to the other schools, good in their own right, but I feel way more confident in my training and education through ACES. And like you said, yeah, it's not cheap, but you get what you pay for. And if you want to deliver top quality care, go get the best education you can.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us and staying safe when you drive. It would have been really bad to have that recorded.
Right. No, we're keeping our eyes on the road.
All right. And appreciate it. How do I get a hold of you?
Yes, sir. LaursenChiro.com. That's my website. TerryLaursenDC@gmail.com. That's my personal email address. If you guys have any questions, anything, love to talk to you, reach out. Anybody in the animal chiropractic community, even in the chiropractic community, I think we need to rely on each other and have our group and our tribe. So I'd love to help you out any way that I can.
All right. And that Laursen is Laursen.
Yes, sir. Yep. That's it. Spelled a little goofy.
All right. Well, not goofy, just different.
True.
Keeps you separate. It puts you above.
There you go.
Puts you
there
above.
There you go. Keeps me separate. I like that. Yep.
Yeah. So there we go. All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. And remember, the body heals one way and one way only. Above, down, inside out, and have a great week.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.